Okay, today I am going to dig in and have a little conversation with you about saving money, some financial advice. I'm connecting with a family. I'm talking to a mother, a father, someone with kids, someone with a lot of responsibilities. Even if you just got pets, right? You've got other people dependent on you, other living organisms dependent on you to survive during this cost of living crisis. Now, I'm really connecting to everyone in the UK more than anything else. I'm not saying the rest of the world isn't in absolute dire need of financial support, but I really am trying to reach out to Gov UK at this time and just really account for the United Kingdom, because every time I watch Sky News and they say, technically we're not in a recession, I want to smash my TV. But I can't afford to buy a new one because the cost of living's through the roof. So I keep my TV in standing order, but I really want to smash it because technically this is not a recession. It's got to be the most annoying phrase I've heard so far in Q1 of the year. So I'm going to connect with the gorgeous, beautiful souls out there that are like, how the hell am I going to get by? I'm working every single day, doing the best I can. And at the end of the month, when my salary comes in, I've still got to feed the kids. I've still got to get them clothes. I've still got to get everything I need, and it's not working out. Now, I'm connecting with people that you can have a partner who's out of work. They've got bad health at this time. So what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a female who is the breadwinner in the house. She has a partner who has health issues at this time. Really, really vulnerable, really, really unwell. I think he's potentially signed off sick at this time. So as a result, this feminine is going above and beyond to be the breadwinner for the family. As you do, I think you've always been out there working extra hard, which is beautiful. Well done you. Let's take a minute to woo-saw and scream, well done you. Right? And what I want to scream to the collective more than anything in this transmission is I want to make it abundantly clear that although the government think it is okay, sorry, not the government, let's give the government a breather for the next 4 minutes, we'll come back to them, but we'll talk about the media. Although the media want to scream from the rooftops, technically, the ONS say, let's remove the technicality off the table for a minute and really look at the people that are living day to day, and let's look at the different constituents and what they're coming forward and saying. And the truth of the matter is, it is painstakingly difficult for people at this time. So I want you to know you're not alone. Financially, many people are struggling. And do you know what breaks my heart? I've said this in another video, so feel free to check out the rest of the content on the channel. But I said, can we ask Rishi Sunak, are those claps going to pay the bills? Because it was all good and well during COVID. We're all coming out on our doorsteps, clapping away. Woo! Clap for the NHS. Clap for the NHS. Come on, draw some rainbow pictures and put them in the window for the NHS. Since COVID, has there been a salary increase for the NHS? No, there hasn't. Duh. Why do you think everyone's striking? Has there been a salary increase for teachers? For all the key workers and all of their hard fucking work during COVID, they all nearly died, may I add? Yeah? Forced to take injections even if they didn't even believe in the injections. I mean, how many people lost their job because they refused to take Pfizer? Because I'm sure that was also a thing. Like, you've got to, you need, like, I know it wasn't compulsory, but low key, I mean, legally, we didn't force anyone to take it, but I mean morally and subliminally, did we encourage people to take it and say that they were risking putting the service users and the patient's health at risk if they didn't take Pfizer or the other alternative injections? Yeah. Key workers were made to feel like they had a responsibility and they were key to the survival of humanity. So they needed to inject themselves with whatever the hell was in that dosage that you lot whipped up overnight. Just as quickly as you whipped up fucking COVID in the first place, if you ask me. But hey ho, let's be professional, let's stay real, because we like the government here and we got to be professional sometimes. But we can also be a bitch sometimes as well, because I've paved my way. Okay, but let's keep talking about what's going on for you guys, okay? Because what I do see showing up for me here is I see that there is some kind of money coming forward, right? But I feel like this is going to come through me delivering some tricks and tips to you today. Because what I'm looking at, the first kind of energy that hit me, and I thought, oh, I've got to do something about this, is I see a lot of emotions. I see particularly a boyfriend and a girlfriend, no kids, struggling financially, emotionally overwhelmed. Financially, you can't afford your rent, you can't afford your gas, you can't afford your electric, you don't know how you're going to get by. Both of you have got full-time jobs. Fucking disgusting. fucking disgusting that we've got the fucking media screaming this is not technically a recession, but you're working class times 2 and can't afford to pay your bills, can't afford to eat and keep the gas on. Disgusting. Not only that, I'm looking at a single parent here, and this single parent here is crying her eyes out, got a little son here, can't afford to feed your son. Can't afford to clothe your son, bath your son, running low on shampoo, running low on air freshener. Okay, for me, air freshener is not a necessity, but I mean, we can talk about necessities in a minute. But I'm seeing your struggles. Something about air freshener, something about just air freshener is really screaming out to me. Okay, okay, this is what I'm getting in my head. So I've got a parent here who is going to their son, stop spraying the air freshener so much. I mean, we're not going to be able to afford another one until the end of the month. You know, sounds silly, right? We're technically not in a recession, but we've got family at home stressing about how much air freshener they're using in the environment because, goodness me, we're not going to have enough left in that tin by the end of the month the way you're spraying it. I mean, what kind of stresses does that bring on into your household? What kind of well-being? How is that impacting your well-being? That's not going to be good. You're going to be pissed off. You're going to be irritable. You're going to be frustrated. Okay? I see someone here, like, you're reducing the level of food that you're having when you go out. So I'm seeing working lunch, CAF's lunch, lunch breaks. Maybe you used to go and get a coffee at Costa. You used to have go to the CAF on your lunch break with the girls or whoever you work with. But now you're kind of like, no, I'm gonna bring packed lunch, or no, I'm not hungry today. No, I'm fasting. Whatever it is, some of you guys, I feel like you're actually making excuses for why you're not eating at lunchtime or why you're not having breakfast. And I've got to be really honest, whoever I'm connecting with here, I've got to say, I'm seeing someone who's got really, really low energy, and I see that you're not eating well enough in the morning. This is really hypocritical for me because I like to intermittent fast. And for me personally, breakfast really is not the most important meal of the day, to be fair. It fucks with my energy. I don't need it. But sometimes you do. And I'm telling you, the work that you do for a living, everyone's different. Everyone needs different nutrients at different times of the day, depending on their metabolism, their body clock, BMI, blah, 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 all that dumb shit that I don't have time to discuss with you today. But the genuine narrative here is you need a good meal. When you wake up in the morning, I'm going to need you, whoever's resonating with this, to make sure you're sitting down and you're having a good breakfast. You're not grabbing a slice of toast and running out the door. You're lacking energy by 10 a.m. because you're not getting enough nutrients, the right intake of food. So we're talking about the balance that we learn in school between protein, carbohydrates, making sure we're not having too many saturated fats. You've also got the level of veg there, the level of protein, like all of the components need to be in that initial meal that you have for the day, especially with the kind of workload that you have. I see people that are working in like kind of jury, like, so, okay, someone could be doing jury service, but I also get government, high-ranking officials in like CEOs, business development. I mean, I'm getting corporate lane, basically. So and obviously the key worker energy I got at the very beginning. And either way, you're doing a lot of different stuff. And it's like something about 24 hours is spinning around to me in this time as well. I'm looking at something related to the next 24 hours. Let me look at that. Okay, this could also be related to bills because I see £24 as well. So I'm looking at someone who's wondering how to balance out the level of money coming in and money going out. I'm seeing someone struggling to pay, like it's either a prescription, it could be like Netflix, Amazon, TV, Wi-Fi, phone bill. It's kind of luxurious bills, like is what I'm being shown. So I'm talking about the apps and softwares and stuff that you use in your home as kind of entertainment, and you've got all these expenditures coming out, direct debits constantly. Just take a minute to assess what you really do and don't need, and if pulling back from one of your software subscriptions is going to leverage a little bit more money for the kids, or a little bit more money for you and your partner, you know, and maybe start doing some meal preps as well for whoever's got the concerns around lunchtime at work and lunch staff meetings, staff breaks, that moment to have lunch in the staff room and you feel like shit, I am broke as fuck, but I don't want to let anyone know, or I don't really want to deal with the embarrassment of it. Then just really sit down and kind of go, all right, what can I get? Furthermore, go and look at my Tesco's hack. If you go and look at my Tesco's hack video that's coming out before this, you'll see that I talk about the different produce and the cheaper side of it. And you can do little graze boxes, a little bit of toast bread. Start looking into. I always advertise. Bento boxes. The Japanese style boxes where it's just a selection of stuff. I always say that I love a little graze box, right? If you're an overeat and you love food, right? The best advice I can give you as a fatty, anyone in the fat community that just loves to eat and is confident in owning the word fat, it's not an abusive term, guys. I mean, it's 2023. We're allowed to take these labels back and use them in our own ways, and fat is a empowering term for me, and I use it with so much confidence. I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to own your body mass and not want to curl over and die or hide in a corner. There's nothing worse than being overweight and incredibly large and then incredibly uncomfortable about it, because there's nowhere you can hide. You know, if you're big and chunky, you're big and chunky. And to any of my chunky overweight crew out there, you're sexy, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, and you deserve to own that. All right, so let's not live life by the standard stereotypes of this is the perfect body size and this is what life is. That's absolute nonsense. We're all made differently, we all look differently, with different colours, different hair textures, different age, different heights, different shapes, bumps and lumps, and it's incredibly important for the future of humanity that we acknowledge that and own our own identity, because the more that we just choose to conform to the standardized ideas of what we should all look like, is the more that we continue to feel outcast and different and removed from society to a certain degree. Allow yourself to be part of society by owning who you are, and the rest of the collective that are also like you will find their way towards you, okay? So if you're big and fat, you better own it, baby. Join the club, okay? Hit me on Instagram, because I do like to show off my body every now and then, just to advocate for the plus size queen. But let's stay on track and let's talk about travel costs. I see here as an issue for someone as well. I see... What is this? This looks very interesting here. Okay. Listen up, okay? Because this has just caught me off guard, what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing someone who is questioning whether or not should I do illegal activity for money? No. Don't come over here asking me whether or not you should do illegal activity for money. The answer for that is no. Okay, but I see someone genuinely questioning. I'm in a really fucked up state right now, in a situation right now. There is an opportunity for me to do something underhanded or illegal. Could be a low level legality. I'm not seeing severe high ranking crime, but I'm seeing a low level little under the radar. Could get away with that, really. But I suggest that you don't do that. And I suggest you find another way to deal with what you're going through, because it is a slippery slope. And let's be honest, I'm glad that this has come up in this message today, because this is where people really start to show who they are. And this is where you start seeing, I come from Wood Green back in the day, right? Don't live in the borough anymore. I've left Haringey behind for good, valid reason. But the truth of the matter is, back in the day, I could go to, I used to be in Weatherspoons in Wood Green, and you would get the guy come in with loads of meat, loads of detergent, loads of different produce that he's just done, and he just nicked off the high road, and he's trying to make a quick buck off it to get some drugs. And it's kind of a situation of just like, that's what's going to happen more and more. There's going to be, I've already put out so much content about the increase in theft around, people are putting emergency tags, security tags on cheese. Now, my favourite food in the whole entire world. I can't live without it. Life would not be worth living without cheese. Tried to be vegan, nearly died. So I get it. But sorry, I'm trying to be serious, but the thought of it's got me going. Because there's security tags on cheese and there's security tags on meat. What has the world come to in 2023 when we're no longer tagging pricey bottles of alcohol or medicine, drugs? We're tagging cheese. We're tagging meat. When does the government step in and go, shit, we've clearly got a problem in the kingdom if we've got to put tags on cheese? But technically, guys, we're not in a recession. Jeremy Hunt has assured us that in relation to the G7, Britain's doing pretty well. He's going to fall on his face for those remarks. I guarantee it, because he's so wrong. And I miss Kwasi. I don't care what you lot thought about Kwasi. I know how I feel. And I know his intentions were good. He came in hot and heavy because he saw the future. But this is me having a rant today because I've seen too much financial events on the news, and it's got me riled. It's got me hella riled up. But I'm coming to you guys to let you know there are options, okay? So instead of having a what do we call it, for example, Apple Music, we can switch over to Spotify. Spotify's free. So if you are paying the top end for Apple Music, Spotify is an alternative, and I will suggest it. Also, there are discount bundles on Apple that you can use instead of you paying the monthly fee. There are family members bundles where all your family can chip in. Netflix, also, they've got the versions where there's adverts and there's free. The free version, the cheaper version, where there are ads. And then the more expensive one where there aren't ads. Same with Prime. Also, you do have apps out there like Pluto TV. I'm going to recommend Pluto TV because it is something I've just seen popping up recently. I've never really accessed it, but I do know that it is like Freeview, and it is an easy access to all the apps. Also, you've got your devices whereby you can put your BBC, your ITVX, which is the new hub that's just developed. All of these things are on your web browser. You can load them up onto your web, onto your Android box, onto whatever devices you've got, and you can also connect that to your HDMI on the TV, right? Because I've got 100 different devices. I don't have a Fire Stick. I have PlayStation on one. I don't want to bait out all my personal business. Let's stay low key. But the truth of the matter is, there are different ways to access different things and reduce your outgoings through that as well. If you want more advice on that, let me know. Feel free to check out all the playlists because they are there. But the main thing I want to say to you guys before I leave is I'm looking into the future, guys. Give me a second. Give me a moment, because I've got a man looking at me here. I know he's connected to bad health. I see a couple in a relationship trying to balance out their money. I feel like I've got a female here who every time she cooks food, she gives her partner, the masculine, a much larger portion, because I mean the standards say that men need 500 calories more than females do on a day-to-day basis, but we're not going to rate it on that standard. We're going to rate it on the fact that everyone has different BMI, body mass, and if you're fucking hungry, you're hungry. So I mean, don't short your plate. I feel like I'm always fighting for women's rights, and it's not even like that. No offense, women, but I'm just talking truth. But it's a situation of don't sell yourself short and give away your sausage. This is so dumb. But this is what I'm getting in my head. I have to say it. I'm so sorry. If this is you, then please hit me in the comments and say, no, I get you. It's me. Because I feel silly sometimes with this stuff. But it's like, don't give away your sausage. Don't give away your chicken leg. If you know that you want to eat and you're hungry just because he's a man or even a woman, or you feel like they need to eat more. Also, if someone's bigger in size and you feel like, they need to eat more because they're bigger than me. They're fatter than me, they have more, they eat more food. That's not necessarily the case at all. You know, and I hope you're all comfortable with the fat word. We've already spoken about that, so please don't hit me in the comments with any fat dramas. The 4 of you that watch this. Because we're still over here fighting with the algorithm. But anywho, I'm about to sign out. But I do see that if you can just knuckle down and go, right, this is my income. I need to pay these bills. I need to do, this is my essentials, this is my outgoings, this is what I need to do. Then you look at the remainder and you work out, are you living within your means? My big concern for a lot of you guys as well is the credit cards. Cut them up now, please. Cut them up now and get them gone. Because I'm telling you now, the inflation on that shit's going to hit you real boomerang back in time. Like, I've got to say this as well. I hope I haven't got any business entrepreneurs on the call. But any of you guys that took out that 50k, in the COVID period where everyone was throwing 50k at you, when the government throws money at you as high as 50k, you're going to want to put your hands up and say, no, I'm all right, you know. I'm all right, babe. I'm doing good. Because when the government throw money at you like that, you're going to want to really watch your back. And I'm telling you now, in the last transmission, I said, we've been groomed for ages with this COVID, with this pandemic. We just spoke about the Pfizer situation for all of you key workers out there who felt like you had to get the injection to feel safe at your jobs. Do you get what I mean? But otherwise you didn't really want it, but you felt like, goodness me, I best do it. You felt like your manager or your line manager or whoever it was kind of persuaded you into getting it and incentivized it as the right thing to do. The best employees got the injection. Legally you weren't forced, but morally you were encouraged and motivated to do something that truly wasn't aligned to you. And that's a real shitty thing to go through. And that's also the case here, you know. So just really be aware of what's going out, what's coming in, and where the line is. Please, I know there's some of you guys out there already, and I know your credit cards must be through the roof at this point, right? Everything's on the credit card. Everything's in the credit card. You're getting a salary coming in, and straight away you're back into the red in that overdraft. It's a horrible situation to be in. But it's okay, yeah? It is absolutely fine. It is absolutely okay. You're not the only one going through this. The rest of the world is going through it. Your family, friends probably going through it, not want to speak about it. And you know what? This is what's so beautiful about money, right? I love it because no matter how much money you have, right? You live within your own means. So listen to this, right? Whether you're on benefits, whether you're middle class, working class, a millionaire, a billionaire, six figures or not, you live within your range. Yeah? So the simple fact is, when we're all hit by inflation, when we're all hit by this, technically it's not a recession, the impact is we're all taking a hit somehow, way, shape or form. So yeah, if you're on benefits, you're going to take a hit in regards to your gas and electric. But if you're middle class, you're going to take a hit to your mortgage and your car insurance and anything you got on finance. If you're a millionaire, then you're going to take a hit with your taxes, yeah, and your investments and your trade. I mean, it keeps circling round. No one is immune from struggle, because the only way, right, that you could really be above the game and above capitalism and be in a financial great standing is you come from nothing. You have no money. You then become a millionaire, billionaire, and then you still live like you have nothing. That's the only way. Because when we have that money sitting there, the natural instinct is to spend it. I'm going to live in line with my wealth and abundance and my salary. So if you're in 24k, 64k, 100k, 56k, whatever it is, you're spreading that out annually and leveraging that to represent your life and your worth and your net worth, right? But the simple fact is, everyone's in the same boat because we're all juggling that coin, yeah? So you can't look at someone else and even go, oh, they had 4 holidays and I can only afford to go to Butlins. But their 4 holidays and your Butlin trip, separately in the grand scheme of things, in their ecosystem, it leverages out to the exact same amount of money in their eyes versus your eyes, because the value of it is different. How you value that coin and how they value that coin, it is the same. You know? And they've obviously obtained that coin and are living according to it. You've obtained your coin and you're living according to it. The only ones immune from that are the ones that are like, fuck the coin, we don't need it. Which is really rare. I don't know anyone like that other than myself, which is not also true because I love good quality things. So it's about finding the balance between the two. But I wanted to hit you with that, guys, today because I don't like the news. I'm really upset with what I'm hearing all the time. Technically, it's not a recession. But we've got key workers out there who can't afford to eat. All those claps did not translate into financial gain for them. But now they're full of Pfizer, walking to the food bank. And it's not funny. It's not even funny. I want to make a joke of it. But, I mean, I'm trying not to laugh now. I've got a massive grin on my face. I'm so sorry. But I mean, if you are an NHS member of staff, I'm not laughing at you, but I'm mocking the institution. I have to. Because everyone's outside clapping for you. But those claps do not translate into coin. And now you're off to the food bank full of Pfizer. And that's not all right. It's not all right. You didn't even want it. You know? So I'm sorry, collective. Also, because, okay, so fine. No, my main point's ending. No, do not do anything illegal for money. Do not try and steal produce from the shop, right? Yeah? Do not try and rip off your colleagues. Do not try to swindle money out of the salary. Do not try and take money out of the till at work. These are all things that are going to be happening as well, may I add, with really stand-up individuals who have never been in this situation before. Grubby fingers in the till. Yeah, don't do it. Don't take any money out of the till. Don't even put yourself in that situation. Do not try and steal produce from work. Do not try and steal any products from work. Do not think that just be an upstanding moral citizen, please. Because God's testing you at this time. I don't want to get all religious over here, but clearly I'm going to have to, because that's the only way I can go. Because all of us are going to be tested to see what our morals are really like. How easy can you crack for the coin? When you're really struggling and you know you've worked all week on a 9 to 5 and you've got to go home and you know you ain't got no food and you ain't got no electric and you ain't got no gas. Because that is the reality for some of you out there. And then you've got to go home and put on the TV with a little bit electric you've got left to hear Kurt K. Burley tell you that technically you're not in a recession. And that the ONS is so on point with their statistics, they've got to be right. As you sit there, eating a tin of beans. Disgusting. So, I had to get that out, clearly. And I'm going to leave it there, I think. But I really want to send you love and light and healing energy, okay? Let me just take a minute to think if there's anything else I can really advise you, right? You can go and Google food banks in your local area. So just type in Google and your borough or your area or your postcode and write in food bank. Have a look there, see what's available. There is also a lot of government incentives and government schemes. So if you go to entitlements, borough entitlements, you'll see what you're entitled to. There is also stuff like DWP, what is it called that I've just heard about? Welfare, local welfare allowance, welfare assistance, okay? So every borough will have an allocated pocket of money, and if you are financially struggling, you can't afford to make ends meet, you can apply through your government website and the government portal, which is a really shit service. I'm so sorry, guys. I am trying to speak to the government again about improving the government portal services that they have. I have been really analysing it for a while, and it is really poor. But you can fill out a request for financial support, or just deal with it in that way. There is citizen advice. There are loads of different stuff. If you are in America, I'm not too sure what they hold out there. If you are from the US, let me know if you know any services that would help your collective, and put in the comments for anyone else who could be struggling at this time, okay? Just keep your chin up, stay positive, and just really think about healthy ways to save money, right? For example, electric versus gas, how much electric you use, how many times you boil the kettle, how many times, whether you're using a fan heater, whether you're heating the whole house with radiators. I mean, consider all of that as well. The space of the room, the windows, the doors. Is there draft coming in? Yeah? Could you work on getting some better drafting in your house? If you have the benefits of having a council property, then you can get the council in to deal with any drafts and any issues you've got like that. If you have your own property and mortgage, then obviously that's a whole massive extra cost to get drafting done around doors and windows and edges. But you can find cheaper stuff on Amazon and eBay that will be draft excluders. So if you've got big gaps of draft under your door and that's hurling in at the night time, then you could easily get some draft excluders, okay? Just little things like that to warm your house a little bit more, make you feel a little bit better during this time, okay? Don't beat yourself up, okay? Look in the mirror and remind yourself that you are an incredible human being and you have come an incredible long way, and the reflection of society is not on you. The fact that you are working a full-time job and still can't afford to pay for all of your essentials, that's not your fault. That's the economy. That's the world that we live in, unfortunately, yeah? And actually, if you need to go to your boss and tell your boss that, I can't afford to do this. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to even pay to get to work, because I see travel here as well. I see the tube. So I'm seeing that with the cost. Like, work out your travel expenses. Work out if you can get a discount Oyster card as well. The government do provide different schemes and incentives where you can get discount Oyster cards, discount travel fare, and there is support out there. You've got to look for it. There's so many corporations, so many charities and institutions that are out there helping. They are overrun at this time, especially food banks. Food banks are not even getting the food in anymore. And they're overrun with people coming in. I mean, the decisions that they've got to make there, it's so sad. But at the end of the day, right, keep your heads up, stay positive. You're not alone, okay? Love and light collective. I'll be back soon with more. Bye.